Well, good morning. It is Friday before Easter, and we are up here in Waits Lake. I got a last-minute invite from a friend to join a couple of people for a ride, and it looks like there's like 20 people here. I was just getting the information on it. This is the Good Friday ride in memory of Springdale Jerry Fraley. So it should be an interesting ride in this area. I have never been in it. It looks like we're going to be going up to some areas, probably hit a little bit of snow. The weather is beautiful today. The sun's out, and I'm debating I probably shouldn't put the enclosure on, but I brought it just in case. Turbo S still having issues, still haven't figured it out. We did get a new voltage regulator, haven't put it in, haven't been able to replicate it, but have it with us. So if we end up having some issues today, we could throw that into one of them. I found out the Turbo S 2018 actually has 2 voltage regulators. Sounds like they moved to 2 for most of the 2018 and latter rigs. So everybody's starting to get warmed up and started. I'm not quite sure where we're going. I will fill you in as we go. So let's go ahead and join the pack and get on the road. All right, we're at our first stop. This is called Cedar Camp. It looks like there's a creek or something over here. There's a whole bunch of group. There's a whole group that is over there. This is going to be the first. This is going to be the first stop for the poker run. Let's go over here and kind of see this bridge. This looks pretty cool. So we got our cards, and this is going to be similar to the Avery poker run, where it's a set of numbers and they're giving winners for the highest and lowest number. So our first one was an 8 and a 2. So we're kind of on the high and low side for that. So let's go take our cards and see what our numbers are. Well, we drew our cards, and in typical fashion, my first pick that had a low number got an 8. So it's 1 through 9 is what I think the numbers are. And my second card that got a high number got a 4. So I think we're at like 10 for each of ours, right in the middle. As I said, we're here at Cedar Camp. This is off Red Marble Road. It sounds like we're going to be hitting quite a few interesting places. I'll see if I can put a link on the map of some of the ones we're here if you're interested in visiting these. So one of the things we like to do is help others who may not be familiar with the technology that can improve the experience of riding with a group. So besides comms and such, one of the things is Polaris Ride Command. We love Polaris Ride Command because the best feature of it is the vehicle to vehicle. So we found 2 people in the group that has Ride Command, and we set them up in our group, and now I'm way in the back, and you can see the first person is over almost half a mile ahead of me, but I don't have to go that fast, and I can see exactly where they are. You can also set a tail feature so that it will keep a tail and tell you exactly where they are. So if you have Ride Command, don't be afraid to ask some people and see. You might be pleasantly surprised that they have it, and it can make it easier in these big groups when it's really dusty to spread out a little. So one other interesting thing about Ride Command that most people don't know is when you do have a V2V group going, hit the button up at the top above the list that'll expand it out, and then each one has a button here. So if we hit the button there, it brings up right up on top who that person is, what direction they're currently going, what their speed is, and how far away they are. So if you're trying to follow a specific person, it makes it really easy to see where that person's going and be able to follow them. All right, well, we made it up to this junction of Red Marble. It looks like there's actually kind of an interesting little campground, camping area there if you wanted to I'm told in the summertime you can make it all the way up to there. You have to go around this and go around, and you come back around and up to there. So that is probably a killer spot to go up to. So we'll have to see what that's like maybe at another trip. There's way too much snow. So this is the top of Red Marble Mountain. This is the second stop that we did. I got a little bit better numbers. They kind of matched the first number. So I've got a somewhat of a high hand, somewhat of a low hand. And we're going to continue on to the next stop. All right, we had a good stop here, got a snack and a drink, and I think we're getting ready to go up to Pine Meadow. Not sure where that is, but I look forward to seeing it. Okay, so we made it back down off Red Marble Mountain, kind of went through the quarry. That was a cool little spot there. Lots of cool things there. We've all gathered back up here, and next we're going over to Klein Meadow. All right, so we did an out and back up Red Marble Road, and now we're gonna turn back on Waits Lake, but we're gonna do a quick shot right here. You can see Klein Meadow right there, so we're heading to Klein Meadow. So Red Marble and Klein Meadow Road are right here off Waits Lake. Okay, so we've made it up Klein Road. We're kind of at this overlook right here. The meadow is a little bit below us. I'm told we're gonna do a loop around back to it. So be interesting to see where that goes to. Just kind of exploring the area and seeing what it's like. So we're kind of over here in this area to the side, and there's some really interesting structures here. Like that's pretty serious cement, assuming that's solid. Some kind of a foundation. It looks like there's some strappings off of trees there, and I'm not sure what this is. This is another interesting structure. If you know what it is, put it in the comments. Looks like there's some steel off of it. Not sure. This could have been something from the mining where they used to run some equipment here, or something else. Okay, so we talked to a few people and we kind of figured out what this is. This is a mine behind us. I think it used to be an ore mine. And what this is these are foundations where they used to have a tram that would take the ore down to Chewelah. And so similar to like a ski lift, they would have towers here and probably buckets of some sort that would then cable the ore down into Chewelah from up here. So one of the cool things up here on this road is there's a couple of really cool campsites. So there's one there, and then there's another one over here. This one's got a pretty good view, and it's a pretty decent size. So you've got all this space here. There's a nice fire pit right there, and the view's not too bad.
That ties right in with these other ones. And there's another opening up where they're at.
Did the bear wake up yet?
Going in the water nice.
Hey, you guys!
Does it dry out in the summer? Well, we're up here in some of the mines. It's pretty crazy. There's some water up in some of them. Some of these are huge caverns. You can almost see tiny people down there. That one's full of water, and I think it connects to the one earlier. Wonder if somebody can go climb up in there. Be real careful when you're in these. Don't go in them, just admire them. There was actually a Forest Service note just this morning on my Facebook page about going into mines and everything. So we just like to observe them and be respectful of them and just appreciate what used to be in the past. we made it up here to a pretty cool viewpoint. I'll see if I can get my phone out and get a little bit better. It has a better zoom. But we have Mount Spokane here. You have 49 degrees north here, and Kalispell Peak over here. So we can actually see 3 really killer mountain peaks from this one. Great view here. So here's Mount Spokane. And then if we scroll over, there's 49 degrees north. And that is Kalispell Peak. Okay, well, we stopped here for our last stop. Everybody drew numbers. I think this is our 7th set of numbers. We're gonna rally back to the cabin that we started at, draw one more set, get the results, and that should wrap up this ride. It's been a pretty cool ride, learned a lot here, and kind of looking forward to coming back. We made it back to where we started. What a good trip that was. I saw some great trails, some great views. I definitely want to come back and explore this area some more when the snow's gone a little bit more and we can get up to some of those high peaks. There's some really cool ones that I want to go look at. So they're tallying the results to see who had the high hand and the low hand. I don't think I had either. My numbers were not that great, so I'm not worried about it. We are double dipping this weekend. We are heading to Ione tonight, and then we're gonna do another ride in Ione tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I love getting out to new areas like Waits Lake and all of the surrounding ones here. If you like this content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.